There is a sentence, 7 words, that the banking enterprise does no longer need you to mention, that the belongings tax workplace does not want you to mention, that your Medicare prescription plan, your application employer, your state sales branch, and different establishments accumulating cash from you each unmarried month are counting on you by no means announcing. The sentence is, I'm over 65. What am I exempt from? That is it. 7 phrases. And the cause those 7 phrases fee the average American senior between $3,400 and $9,200 per year in charges they were in no way legally required to pay is not due to the fact the exemptions are hidden in a few difficult to understand regulatory footnote. The exemptions aren't hidden, they are published, they are codified. In numerous cases, they're printed in the equal record that authorize the charge. The industries amassing these prices aren't harassed approximately whether you qualify. They recognize they have got acknowledged for years. They have compliance departments that track exemption eligibility. They have internal regulations that authorize waiver authority for qualifying customers. The data exists in those corporations proper nowadays, fully documented and prepared to use the instant you ask. They are relying on you now, not asking. And the purpose I am deciding on to spend the next half hour on foot through precisely what to mention, to whom, and at which organization, rather than covering actually another subject matter I could cowl today, is personal. My father in regulation spent 8 years paying a property tax invoice in Hamilton County, Ohio that became $300 per 12 months higher than it needed to be. He qualified for the senior abode exemption from the first year he became eligible. The county sent him his evaluation every 12 months. Never as soon as did that assessment include a sentence that said, Mr. Kowalski, you will be entitled to a reduction. So for weight IDAR, he determined out 2 months before he died in a conversation with a neighbor at a church picnic who happened to say it. 2 months, 8 years, $24,800 that he paid to Hamilton County, Ohio, that the law by no means required him to pay. I'm now not going to permit that happen to you. Before I walk via all 7, hit the like button proper now, no longer when the video ends. Now, due to the fact the economic services industry, the software enterprise, and the property tax collection device all gain from this statistic, staying invisible. And the set of rules in 2026 routinely suppresses personal finance content that creates an instantaneous consumer cognizance of institutional charge practices. Every like in this video is a sign. Every percentage is one extra senior who learns the 7 phrases earlier than the subsequent billing cycle. Subscribe and press the bell. This archive exists for the humans the device counts on to stay quiet. And the standard disclaimer, this video is academic, now not felony or economic recommendation. The unique exemption, why institutions don't inform you about exemptions, policies, income thresholds, and application approaches range by way of kingdom, organization, and man or woman occasions. Verify every item in this listing along with your precise provider or qualified advisor. But confirm, because the opportunity is continuing to pay for something you have been never legally required to shop for. Now, 7 costs, 7 exemptions, 7 conversations you need to have before this month's statements arrive. Fee primary, the belongings tax, you're nearly simply overpaying. This is the most important rate at the list and the one with the best opportunity of applying to you right now nowadays. Regardless of your income level, irrespective of your private home value, no matter what kingdom you live in, 49 of the 50 states in the United States provide a few shape of senior property tax exemption, reduction, freeze, or circuit breaker program. The specific name varies, the mechanics vary, the profits threshold varies. However, the core precept is steady throughout nearly every jurisdiction.
Can I enjoy it?
If you are 65 or older and you own and occupy your primary residence, your nation or county has a criminal mechanism to lessen or freeze your home tax assessment. The common annual financial savings for seniors who claim their state's #1 assets tax exemption is between $1,200 and $4,800 in step with 12 months,
Depending at the kingdom and the assessed cost of the home.
In excessive belongings tax states like Illinois, New Jersey, New York, and Connecticut, that variety climbs better. In Illinois, the senior abode exemption plus the senior evaluation freeze can reduce a property tax bill by using $3,000 to $7,000 yearly for a qualifying owner of a house in Cook County. Here's the crime. The application for this exemption is not automated. In maximum states, you observe once at your county assessor's or auditor's office. You publish evidence of age and evidence of primary residence. In earnings-tested packages, you publish the primary web page of your maximum latest federal tax go back. The software is commonly Pages. The processing time is commonly 30 to 90 days, and once granted, the exemption generally renews routinely or with a simple annual affirmation shape. The county assessor knows who's over 65. They have get right of entry to birth date statistics. They realize which homeowners in their jurisdiction qualify for the exemption and aren't presently receiving it. They do not send the one's homeowners a letter. They do now not include a notice with the once-a-year tax invoice. They gather the full evaluation and wait. Go in your county auditor's or assessor's internet site right now after this video. Search senior exemption or abode exemption or senior freeze. Download the shape, fill it out. If you have been paying complete assets taxes, rate number 1, assets tax senior exemption past age 65 and by no means carried out, maximum states allow you to retroactively claim 2 to 3 years of overpayment. My father-in-law turned into no longer eligible for retroactive restoration. He located out 2 past due. You're no longer 2 past due right now. Fee quantity, the Medicare Savings Program gap. This one applies to a selected profits variety that is broader than maximum humans assume and narrower than most qualifying seniors realize they fall into. The Medicare Savings Programs, particularly the Qualified Medicare Beneficiary Program, the Specified Low-Income Medicare Beneficiary Program, and the Qualifying Individual Program, are federal programs that get rid of or dramatically reduce Medicare Part B rates, Part A rates, if applicable, and in a few cases, Part 500 co-payments for seniors whose earnings falls beneath precise thresholds. In 2026, the QMBB earnings limit for a single individual is about $155 in step with month in maximum states or $74 in keeping with month for a couple. The SLMBB restrict is approximately $1,478 per month for an unmarried character. These are month-to-month income thresholds, now not annual, and significantly, the profits counted as countable profits below Medicaid rules, which excludes positive forms of earnings, together with some Social Security income adjustments, veterans benefits in lots of states, and irregular profits. A senior with a gross annual earnings of $18,000 may also have countable earnings beneath Medicaid policies of $14 to $400 or less. Their month-to-month countable profits $200. They qualify for QMB, their Part B top rate removed, annual savings $220. They're nearly virtually no longer enrolled. The enrollment rate for Medicare savings programs among qualifying seniors is expected at below 40% nationally. The number one purpose: no one informed them they qualify. The Social Security Administration, which handles enrollment, does no longer proactively become aware of qualifying people and initiate enrollment. The Kingdom Medicaid Agency, which administer the programs, do no longer go reference Medicare enrollment records in opposition to profits eligibility on the man or woman stage to trigger outreach. The machine is passive, the senior ought to practice, and the average senior does no longer know to use due to the fact the Medicare welcome package they obtained at 65 noted in the software in 2 sentences on webpage 47, call your state health insurance assistance program SHIP for a free eligibility screening. The number is special in each country and it is in the description below this video. The name takes 20 minutes. The annual financial savings, in case you qualify, can exceed $2,000, 0 cost to use, 0 purpose to attend, fee quantity 3. The prescription drug cap of the drugstore isn't tracking for you. The Inflation Reduction Act of 2022 created a $2,000 out-of-pocket cap on Medicare Part 500 prescription drug prices starting in 2025. In 2026, this cover is fully in impact. Here is what which means in plain English. Once you have spent $2,000 in a calendar year on covered Part 500 pills, counting your deductible, your co-payments, and your coinsurance, your cost for included prescription drugs for the rest of that calendar year is zero. Zero, not reduced, not discounted, zero. Here's the trouble. The pharmacy factor of sale device does no longer constantly effectively follow the cap in real time. Billing mistakes, plan coordination delays, and statistic synchronization lags between the drug plan and the drugstore suggest that some seniors reach the $2,000 threshold and keep being charged co-payments that they legally owe not anything for. And extra commonly, seniors who are close to the $2,000 threshold in November and December do no longer realize they've almost reached it and make decisions approximately which medicines to fill and which to postpone. Pay based on value without understanding that the following dollar they spend might be their ultimate required dollar of the year. The restoration is straightforward. Call your Part 500 plan's member offerings range in September or October and ask, what is my modern year-to-date out-of-pocket total towards my annual cap? If the solution is close to $2,000, fill everything you need before December 31st. If the answer is over $2,000 and you have nonetheless been charged co-payments, you are owed a refund, and also you need to report an insurance dedication request at once. The plan will no longer call you proactively to inform you which you have reached the cap. The plan will no longer flag your account to alert the pharmacy. You should tune it yourself and ask the question fee. Number 4, the country earnings tax. Your retirement test ought to no longer be paying. 41 states do not tax social safety earnings in any respect. 9 states presently impose a few degree of state profits tax on social safety benefits. But right here's the fee that even the citizens of these 9 states are regularly overpaying. Every nation that fee variety 2, Medicare savings software, whole taxes, Social Security has an exemption threshold, a partial exclusion, an age-based deduction, or in profits section out that substantially reduces or gets rid of the tax for the majority of center profits retirees. The complete taxation of social protection on the kingdom degree is almost never the actual rule. It is the worst case interpretation of the guideline. Beyond social protection, 27 states provide full or partial exemptions on pension profits, retirement account distributions, or both. The unique exclusions range dramatically. In Georgia, the first $65,000 of retirement earnings for a single filer over 65 is excluded from country earnings tax. In Kentucky, the primary $310,110 greenbacks of retirement earnings is excluded. In Mississippi, all qualified retirement earnings is excluded completely. These exclusions are claimed in your country earnings tax return. They require particular form entries or schedules. They aren't applied robotically. A tax preparer who isn't acquainted with senior-specific state exclusions will miss them. A tax software that is not up to date with the modern UR's exclusion quantities will leave out them. And a senior who prepares their very own go back without understanding the exclusion exists will miss it absolutely. This is the rate that maximum embarrasses me, approximately the financial making plan's enterprise. This fax isn't always complicated. It isn't obscure. It is posted by using every kingdom sales department in their annual man or woman income tax commands. The exclusion quantities are proper there on the form, and seniors are overpaying state profits taxes on retirement earnings that the kingdom legislature specifically voted to exempt because nobody sat down with them and study page 3 of the country go back instructions. Find your nation's Department of Revenue website, search retirement profits exclusion or pension profits exclusion. If your country offers one, compare the exclusion quantity against your mentioned retirement earnings on last 12 months' return. If the exclusion become not claimed, report and amended, go back. In most states, you could amend returns going again 3 years. Fee number 5, the utility bill discount. Nobody applies for the Low Profits Home Power Assistance Program. LIHEP is a federally funded application that assists low and mild income families with heating and cooling expenses. The profits eligibility threshold is 150% of the federal poverty level or 60% of state median earnings, whichever is higher. For an unmarried person household in 2026, 150% of the federal poverty degree is about $22,590. 60% of country median profits in maximum states is drastically higher than that. An unmarried senior with an annual income of $28,000 to $36,000 may qualify of their kingdom, relying on which threshold applies. LIHIP advantage quantities vary via country. Annual blessings variety from $300 to $1,500 in most states. Some states offer each heating and cooling assistance as separate benefits. However, LIHIP's simplest, the federal baseline. Every principal application agency inside the United States operates its very own low-profit senior charge software or senior bargain program. These packages are ruled through country public software fee rules and are often not advertised to present customers. The profits thresholds for application employer senior discount programs are often higher than LIHEP, and in a few states observe robotically to any client over 65 who requests the price review. Call your gasoline and electric software company. Ask particularly, do you have a senior charge, a low-income bargain software, or a budget billing choice for clients over 65? Sharky. If yes, ask what documentation you need to apply. The annual savings throughout heating, cooling, and power can vary from $40 to $1,800 depending to your climate region, domestic size, and modern rate class. This phone call takes 12 minutes. The financial savings are recurring yearly. The information will not seem in your bill. It will no longer seem on your annual price boom note. It will now not seem anywhere until you name and ask the 7 words. Fee price variety 6, the bank charge that disappears whilst you ask. Monthly upkeep expenses at principal American banks range from $4.95 to $25, consistent with month for well-known checking accounts. Annual value $59 to $300 for a senior on a fixed profits who has held the equal account at the same bank for 20 or 30 years. This is cash leaving the account each month that the bank has zero prison right to keep if the client invokes the right account type. Every fundamental American financial institution, Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, U.S. Bank, Citibank, offers a senior unique or senior eligible account tier that either gets rid of the monthly maintenance charge absolutely or substantially reduces it. The rate range 3, the $2,000 prescription drug cap eligibility threshold, is commonly age 62 or 65, depending on the organization. The application process is a cell phone call or an in-branch communique. These debts are not marketed on the department degree due to the fact department staff is incentivized on new account openings, now not on account type migrations. The senior who walks into the branch and does no longer ask will never be told the charge loose option exists. The senior who has been a patron for 30 years and calls the 1-800 quantity with a criticism about a rate has a 90% probability of getting that price waived indefinitely. If they ask for the senior account evaluate, additionally, credit scorecard annual fees and which variety from $95 to $695 for top-class travel cards are problem to retention waiver authority at every main provider. If you have got held a credit scorecard for greater than 2 years, have a smooth price history, and speak to the retention branch has authorization to waive the annual price, offer assertion credit identical to the yearly charge, or downgrade you to a no-price model of the card without ultimate the account. The issuers do no longer put up this retention waiver authority is inner policy, not consumer disclosure. The name script is 4 sentences. Call the number on the return of the cardboard. Say, I'm thinking about ultimate this account due to the once-a-year charge. I have been a customer for X years. Is there something you may do to waive the rate or lessen it? Then forestall, speak me, and wait. Fee variety 7, the notary. Fee, this is unlawful to rate you in more states than you know. This one surprises human beings each time. Notary fees variety from $5 to $25 in line with signature at non-public notary services for estate-making plans, documents, powers of attorney, fitness care directives, and actual estate transactions. The documents that seniors want notarized maximum often. The cumulative notary cost over an unmarried planning session can attain $75 to $200. In 22 states, banks are required by nation regulation or by means of their personal operating charters to offer free notary services to account holders. You are an account holder. You had been an account holder on the Equal Bank for decades. Every time you paid a notary service to notarize a file that your financial institution turned into required to notarize without spending a dime, you paid a charge the regulation by no means authorized. Beyond banks, county recorders' workplaces, and most states offer loose notary services all through business hours for documents on the way to be recorded with the county. Deeds, liens, belongings, transfers. Many public libraries offer loose notary offerings for customers. Many senior centers provide free notary get admission to on scheduled days. The Social Security Administration disciplined places of work will notarize sure documents for gain-associated functions at no rate. The whole personal notary rate economy for seniors exists because most seniors do no longer realize that loose options exist within taking walks or riding distance of certainly each domestic in America. Call your bank's department. Ask, do you provide loose notary offerings for account holders? If yes, agenda your subsequent document signing there. If no, call the county recorder's office and ask approximately stroll-in notary availability. Then, name the closest public library, the sentence that collects all 7. Now, I need you to position these 7 conversations collectively into an unmarried motion series. Write down the call of your county. Write down the call of your bank. Write down the call of your Medicare Part 500 plan. Write down the name of your gas and electric software. Write down the state you report taxes in, and write down the name of each credit card you currently pay an annual charge on. That listing represents the 7 establishments that can be amassing fees from you right now that they may be not legally entitled to gather from someone who is over 65 who qualifies for an exemption and who is aware of. To ask the 7 phrases, I am over 65. What am I exempt from? Say the ones phrases for your county assessor's office and ask approximately the senior home exemption. Say them on your Medicare Deliver counselor and ask approximately Medicare financial savings applications. Say them to your Element D plan and ask approximately your year to 8 out-of-pocket total. Say them on your state tax authority and ask approximately retirement income exclusions. Say them on your application employer and ask approximately senior or low profits fee packages. Say them on your financial institution and ask approximately senior account stages and charge waivers. Say them on your credit scorecard company and ask for a retention assessment of the once-a-year rate. None of those calls requires a lawyer. None of them calls for an economic guide. None of them requires whatever except a telephone and the willingness to invite a question that the organization receiving the decision already knows the solution to. Here is my sincere reaction to all of this, and I say it because I think it needs to be said immediately. These are not aspect instances. These are not obscure applications for tremendous occasions. These are mainstream economic exemptions that follow to tens of millions of seniors right now, today, in every zip code in fee quantity 4, Kingdom Tax on Retirement Profits, this USA. The mixed annual cost of these 7 exemptions for the average qualifying senior is among $3, $400, and $9, $200, according to YAR. That is not a rounding blunders. That is a car fee. That is a holiday. That is the distinction among a retirement that feels snug and a retirement that feels pinched. And the establishments amassing the fees know this. They have the actuarial statistics. They understand the exemption utilization costs. They understand that for each senior who calls and asks, there are 9 who do now not. The passive revenue from the 9 is substantial and ordinary and basically everlasting due to the fact the 9 will preserve paying till the day they die and never once recognize they did now not have to. Share this video with one senior you realize, determine, a neighbor, a friend from church. The man or woman you spot every week on the grocery save who is paying bills on a set income and has by no means once requested their bank, their county, their Medicare plan, or their software organization what they're exempt from. One character today because the 7 words are loose to say and the institutions are open proper now, and the billing cycle does no longer watch for anybody who was almost going to make the decision next. There is a sentence, 7 words, that the banking enterprise does no longer want you to mention, that the property tax workplace does now not want you to mention, that your Medicare prescription plan, your software employer, your state sales department, and different establishments amassing money from you every unmarried month are relying on you never pronouncing the sentence is, I'm over 65. What am I exempt from? That is it. 7 phrases. And the purpose, the 7 phrases price the common American senior between $3,400